Just like in any sport, in Formula One, drivers who don't follow the rules set out by the FIA can be penalized. Did you know that Kevin Magnussen is the first driver to hit the 12-point race ban threshold since the penalty point system was introduced? Formula One's penalty point system is designed to keep driver behavior under control. However, in the world of F1 drivers, penalties are often served for the most ridiculous and pettiest of reasons. Welcome to DRS Speed Hunters, and in today's video, we're going to explore the top 10 most ridiculous penalties in F1. Keep watching, and you'll be surprised to discover just how outrageous some penalties have been. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you won't miss out on more intriguing updates. Number 10. Schumacher at Monaco. Michael Schumacher starts our list with two Monaco incidents. The first occurred in 2006 when, in qualifying, he hit the barrier at Racas and stalled. Now, that brought out the yellow flags and stopped anyone else, including title rival Fernando Alonso, from improving on their best time. However, the stewards weren't amused by Schumacher's antics. They judged that he had parked his car on purpose to mess with everyone else's times. So they booted his times out of the race and sent him to the back of the grid. The controversy here was less about whether he was guilty and more about the fact that a championship contender, especially one as legendary as Schumacher, got hit with such a harsh penalty. It was like watching a lion being scolded for trying to take a nap in the sun. Now fast forward 4 years to his comeback with Mercedes, and Schumacher was back at it again. As the safety car rolled into the pits on the final lap, he couldn't resist making a move on Alonso and Anthony Nuff's corner. Ferrari, of course, didn't take it lying down and filed an appeal. Schumacher ended up with a 20-second penalty, dropping him to 12th place. It was one of those classic intent versus interpretation debates over the rules. Was overtaking a no-go on the last lap under the safety car, or was it fair game as soon as the safety car pulled in? One thing's for sure, the drama was as thick as Monaco's air on race day. Number 9. Bar's two-race ban. In 2005, Jenson Button had a rough start to the season but bounced back with a podium finish at Imola. However, trouble brewed after the race. The stewards discovered that the car had an illegal second fuel tank, cleverly used to add extra weight, which led to the team being disqualified from the results. But that wasn't the end of the drama. They also decided to hand Bar a two-race ban. Now, this ruling was such a jaw-dropper that the team actually showed up in Barcelona thinking they could race. Spoiler alert, they didn't, and they also sat out Monaco. Talk about a hard lesson in following the rules. Number 8. Verstappen Silverstone clash. Next up, we have Max Verstappen's infamous clash with Lewis Hamilton at the 2021 British Grand Prix. As the two championship rivals battled for supremacy, Verstappen found himself on the wrong end of a controversial collision at Copse Corner, resulting in a dramatic crash that sent him into the barriers. But the drama didn't end there. Verstappen received a 3-place grid penalty for his role in the incident. Many fans felt that this penalty was a knee-jerk reaction to the high-stakes situation that didn't accurately reflect the racing dynamics at play. Hamilton fans naturally were thrilled with this outcome, but many wondered if the punishment truly matched the offense. The incident not only intensified the rivalry, but also sparked debates about driver responsibilities during fierce competition. In F1, things can escalate quickly, and the line between racing hard and crossing the line can sometimes get a little blurred. Number 7. Testgate 2013. When Pirelli and Mercedes remained in the F1 paddock after the conclusion of the 2013 Spanish Grand Prix, you have to wonder why the other teams didn't ask why. While Mercedes was busy helping Pirelli with tire tests for 2014, it turned out they were also sneaking in tests for the 2013 options. Pirelli insisted, of course, that no secrets were shared with Mercedes. That, combined with the drivers using unmarked helmets, caused a massive stir among the other teams, who blasted Mercedes as cheats and claimed Pirelli crossed everyone else. That's not exactly what happened, but F1 is a fickle business, you know. Now, both Pirelli and Mercedes were both reprimanded, and Mercedes also was banned from using the Silverstone Young Driver test. Does that sound overly harsh? Well, maybe not particularly, but it did rob them of the chance to try out the shiny new tires that Pirelli was planning to roll out halfway through the 2013 season. The real controversy, though, lies in the fact that many fans felt Mercedes got off way too easy. So what do you think? Did Mercedes dodge a bullet, or was the whole situation just ridiculous? Be sure to comment below. Number 6. Renault Crashgate ban. Massive penalties are always a hot topic, even when they seem spot on. Just ask Flavio Briatore and Pat Simon of the Renault F1, who orchestrated Nelson Piquet Jr.'s crash in Singapore to play a little game of racing manipulation. Initially, it looked like the FIA had hit them with the hammer of justice, dishing out hefty bans for their cheeky tactics. But then, in true soap opera fashion, both Briatore and Simons appealed, and the ban was overturned, with the duo even getting offered some compensation. Talk about a plot twist. But wait, there's more. In a classic case of you thought it was over, the FIA decided to appeal the appeal. It's ridiculous, right? It was like a never-ending episode of a reality show where everyone keeps coming back for more drama. Number 5. Vettel's Canadian Grand Prix. Vettel found himself on the wrong side of a 5-second penalty during the 2019 Canadian Grand Prix, effectively gifting the victory to Lewis Hamilton. The penalty came after an incident where Vettel re-entered the track in a less-than-safe manner after going off, sparking a heated debate over whether the call was fair or just a classic case of overzealous officiating. Many fans and pundits were left scratching their heads, questioning why the punishment felt so harsh given the circumstances. It not only changed the race outcome, but also overshadowed Vettel's stellar performance up to that point, making it a real what could have been moment. This penalty was a perfect example of the ongoing struggle that Formula One faces in balancing safety with the spirit of competition. It served as a reminder that stewards need to consider context and intent when making their calls, especially in high-stakes situations that can dramatically shift the championship narrative. After all, nobody wants to see a driver handed a penalty for trying to show off their best moves, unless it's on the dance floor. Number 4. Ferrari, Schumacher, and Barrichello. Rubens Barrichello was set to win the Austrian Grand Prix back in 2002, only for team orders to rear their ugly head just before the finish line. The Brazilian hit the brakes with meters left in the race, opening the door for teammate Michael Schumacher to claim the victory. The maneuver didn't sit well with spectators at the track and those watching at home, especially since the race was just the 6th out of the 17 scheduled for that season, meaning that there were no pressing title implications. It certainly made the podium ceremony awkward as well. As fans booed Ferrari's decision, given that Barrichello started on pole and led for most of the race, Schumacher tried to help the situation by letting Barrichello climb to the top step and giving him the first-place trophy, but in fact, it made things worse. While there were no rules against team orders at the time, there were rules about changing places on the podium. As a result, Ferrari, Schumacher, and Barrichello were handed a fine of $1 million, with each paying a third immediately. The incident also led the FIA to ban team orders at the start of the 2003 season, though they were reintroduced in 2010. Number 3. Ferrari's team orders row. In the 2010 German Grand Prix, everyone watching knew what was happening when Fernando Alonso took the lead. The cryptic message from Ferrari to Felipe Massa, relayed live on the BBC, gave it away. Felipe, Fernando is faster than you. Do you understand? Felipe got the memo loud and clear and graciously moved aside, giving Alonso a clear path to victory. But why was it so controversial? Well, because team orders were banned at the time. And what was Ferrari's punishment? A $100,000 fine and the legalization of team orders once again. You might not think much of that, but this was a potential world championship altering move and a blatant disregard of FIA regulations. Number 2. Ocon's lapping incident. During the 2018 Brazilian Grand Prix, Esteban Ocon was lapped by race leader Verstappen when he made a bold move to overtake the Red Bull driver. Unfortunately, the maneuver resulted in a collision that sent both cars off the track. What followed was a 5-second penalty for Ocon, who was simply trying to race hard while being a back marker. Fans were outraged, arguing that penalizing a driver for racing in a high-speed sport was both unfair and unnecessary. The incident highlighted the challenges that backmarkers face when competing against frontrunners and highlighted the need for better guidelines on how lap cars should navigate races. Many felt that instead of punishing Ocon, the focus should have been on creating clearer rules to protect drivers in these precarious situations. And number 1, McLaren's Spygate fine. The McLaren Spygate scandal was a massive black eye for both the team and the entire sport. McLaren got caught red-handed stealing confidential data from their rivals at Ferrari, and the punishment was nothing short of monumental. They were stripped of their constructors' points and left to finish dead last in the championship, effectively losing out on all of that sweet prize money. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, they were hit with a jaw-dropping £50 million fine. The sheer size of the punishment and the outrageous fine made the incident stand out among all others in F1 history. Then came the Hungarian Grand Prix weekend when the rivalry between Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso reached a boiling point. The drivers ended up blocking each other in qualifying, resulting in yet another fine for the team and even a points deduction. Safe to say, 2007 was a pretty rough year for McLaren. But before we wrap up the video, did you know that after Renault's Crashgate scandal, an appeal saga dragged on until Siemens and Briatore agreed to stay out of F1 until the 2017 season? Talk about a long time out. And that wraps up our video. If you like the ride, give that button a nudge, subscribe for more high-speed antics, and let us know in the comments which penalty shocked you the most. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.